Shalom, shalom, Mishpachah. Thank you so much for joining me on Songwriting with SHACHAH. Journey with me as I go through 1 Samuel and we explore and dive into the testimony of Hannah or Hannah. This is coming out of the book of 1 Samuel. So get your pen, get your paper, and again, journey with me. Now, Hannah was one of the wives of Elkanah. He had two wives, Peninnah and Hannah or Hannah. Now, Peninnah had children, but Hannah did not. However, to kind of make a long story short, Elkanah cherished Hannah, and he always gave her a double portion, of love, of blessing, things like that. But nothing seemed to quench her desire for wanting children. She was barren, and she could not have children. Or not that she couldn't have children, but Yahuwah had closed her womb up. Well, she's dealing with that, and at the same time, she's dealing with Peninnah kind of taunting her and kind of flaunting her children around her, kind of teasing her. And that thing weighed on Hannah in the worst way. I imagine that if I were in her shoes, it started to weigh her down, started to affect other areas of her life. So when she went into the temple, she poured out to Yahuwah. She wasn't out of control or anything like that, but she poured out to him. She poured out her pain, she poured out her tears. I'm sure she poured out her desires, her hurts, things like that, just due to this situation. So as she is pouring out her heart to Yahuwah, she makes a vow. She says, Yahuwah, if you do this for me, if you do this one thing, because it was a big deal for a woman back in ancient times to be able to have a child, that made her who she was, that made her a woman. If she was able to have a child, that was important. And so she vowed, she said, if you do this one thing for me, Yahuwah, I promise I'll give him back to you. Long story short, the priest that was there spoke a word into her that, hey, in a nutshell, Yahuwah heard you, and he's going to give you the desires of your heart. And so, yes, she conceived. She nursed that baby. She did what we as mothers are called to do. She transmitted the faith she transmitted imunah unto that baby. She poured into that baby, because that is all of our callings as mothers, whether we have our babies naturally or we inherit the babies. We inherit our babies. Our job, a mother told me long ago, no matter where your child comes from, your job is to transmit the faith in love. And so that is what Hannah did, knowing that this baby was not hers. He was just passing through. She was the vessel used to nourish, to nurse, to transmit the faith, to love. And so once that baby was weaned, she took that baby to the temple. But she rejoiced. She rejoiced from the time she made that vow all the way through taking the baby, the little boy, back to the temple to dedicate him, to give him back to Yahuwah. She rejoiced. She never lost faith. She never lost her praise. She never wavered. She was continuously praying. And so that's how we have to be we have to remain prayerful. We have to remain with a covering of Simcha. We have to remain with Batak. We have to remain obedient to Yahuwah in everything that we do. So hallelujah, I don't want to talk too much. I'm sure there's much more insight, much more foresight that can be put into this. But number one thing for us to remember as mothers of the covenant is to transmit the faith. Accept the assignment, transmit the faith. If he trusts you with his precious jewels, if he trusts you with his precious babies, with the Kodesh seed, we are to do what he would have us to do, and that's to transmit the faith and stay faithful. So I praise Yahuwah. I apologize if I talk too much, but I just wanted to lay that the background of that. And so the song that you will hear is what Yahuwah gave me that describes Hannah's journey. I'm sure it doesn't cover everything, but it describes Hannah's journey. And so I pray that you enjoy this song. I pray that you can glean, that you can receive something from her testimony. And most of all, I pray that you continue to write with me. And thank you so much for listening. Shalom.
Doubt was in my face, caught in my feelings. Was I deserving to receive your blessing? The fruit of my womb, questioning if you'll come through. Oh, Yahuwah, you're faithful, sweet. Yahuwah, you're a love song. Was taunted and teased by the adversary. You never denied it, you were growing me in Emunah that is eternal. So I lay my pain at your throne. Oh, Yahuwah, you're faithful and you're sweet. Yahuwah, a love song.